I forgot my line. Line? Okay. Hello, sinners, and hail Sappho. It's your hostess with the mostest, Narcissa and this is a brand new art video. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you. I am on your screen again in person, sort of. It's complicated. Anyway, I feel like people prefer when I'm on camera. I feel like those videos do better. I feel like people respond to them better. So I'm back on camera. Hello, thank you. Have you missed me? I probably have paint on this dress. That's kind of the nature of the beast. So this week I have a very, very special video that I am so excited about. So as you can see from the title of this video, as you can see from the description of this video, God, I've got paint all over me. As you can see from the description of this video, this one is kind of a special one because this is my Mother's Day video, and I have made several projects for my mother this Mother's Day. I really went all out on art for my mother. I feel like over the last, my entire life, let's just be honest, I've kind of slacked a lot. I think when I was a kid, I probably did okay because, you know, it was all like, you know, mom always said, oh, you know, just make me something. And that's all well and good when you're cutting, you know, little cards or whatever out. But I think when you're a full-grown adult and it comes to like, you have money now and you can purchase things now, there comes a question of like, okay, what do you buy for your mother? Like, what is the gift you can give your mother? She enjoys things that are more personal, more from the heart. And she has always said she likes handmade things. So I figured since I am on this huge kick of doing DIY and acrylic painting and making art, that what better time to make art specifically for my mother than on Mother's Day. Now, obviously by the time this video goes out, it will not be Mother's Day yet because this video goes out on Tuesday. Mother's Day is the following Sunday. I was trying to figure out the timeline of when I wanted to post this, and I decided before Mother's Day was better than the Tuesday after Mother's Day, so this is going to be slightly early, but that's okay. That's kind of the thing I will say about this, and that's part of the reason that being on camera was a little bit harder, was because I'm always working on some project or other. You know, when you have something that requires drying times, there really isn't the chance to, you know, you sort of have to work on multiple projects at once in order for everything to have time to dry, in order to be able to, you know, have time to do everything that you need to do. So ultimately it is one of those things where I kind of have like 3 or 4 projects going at any given time because I need a lot of time for drying and things like that. Even though a lot of my work is like, I would say a mix of acrylic pour and acrylic blowout. Because even when I do an acrylic pour, which is for several of these projects, I usually end up taking a blow dryer to them because I just love the effect that it gives. I don't know what it is, but I feel like even if something's pretty with an acrylic pour, when you add the like power of the, I almost said wind, but like power of the blow dryer, it just adds something really interesting and cool to me. So I pretty much always end up doing, you know, adding the blow dryer as a special effect, regardless of whether or not ultimately I would consider it an acrylic pour, an acrylic blowout, and I'm sure there's a lot of arguments on that. That's neither here nor there. Sorry, I went off on a whole tangent. I'm sure you've missed those, haven't you? Because I don't really do that as much in my voiceovers. I don't really feel like I go on tangents. I kind of just say my piece and then that's it. Like, I would not say I go on tangents. I would not say that I'm, you know, I don't really do anything like that. I kind of just say what I have to say and that's it. And I will say I'm having so much fun with this. I hope that you can tell. I hope that you guys are having fun too. It's always hard to tell because, you know, when you change up your channel a little bit, analytics get a little wonky, and a lot of people really loved all my Good Omens content. But, you know, Good Omens is something like my lesbian content, which as much as I enjoyed it, I feel like there's only so much that I can talk about. Like, I can talk about, you know, what I think for season. I'm sorry about that. I had to like leave for a second because apparently my card was full. That has never happened to me where an SD card was full. So that's very, very strange and unexpected. I don't know how to feel about that. So I'm going to have to go through my SD cards, because this particular one and all of my videos right now are going to be across 3 separate video cards. So that's going to be fun. Anyway, I don't remember where I left off. I think I was talking about something. I will say, word to the wise, I don't know how I feel about acrylic pouring on vases. I'm going to have to give this another go. This was my first attempt, and my mother does actually like how it came out. I personally do not, but, you know, I'll let you guys decide what you think about it. And then we'll go from, or not we'll go from there, but you'll go from there. Oh my goodness. Did you miss this? I'm sure you did. Of all the projects that I worked on, technically, I only have the last one to actually show the kind of final result, just because my mother is using the other ones and I don't want to take them out of the room. So I'm just going to show you the final one because I was keeping this here to dry. I'm hoping this will show up nicely on camera. Please excuse the fact that the mirror has a little bit of paint on it. So a lot of this didn't actually get put on, wasn't filmed. I don't want to show off my background of my office. So a lot of this part wasn't filmed. I didn't actually film me putting the glitter or the flowers on because I technically decided to add the glitter after I did the acrylic pour portion. I ended up just adding glitter while it was drying, so I thought that was a good idea. I did technically make a second piece that kind of goes with this that was a canvas because I didn't want to waste all of the paint since I was using all of the, you know, I had to use kind of a minimal amount of paint to get the frame itself. And as you can see in the video, I wasn't able to take the mirror portion out because on the back of this, and this didn't get any paint, but on the back of this you can see, I don't know if you can see this, there's like little tiny screws that are, excuse me while I just look at myself, there's tiny screws that are on the back of this, which while they are, I got like, there's 11 of them. I was able to get 9 I think out, and then I had 4 more. No, that's not right. That's not mathematically right. Anyway, I had 4 more that I wasn't able to get out of this. And it was so frustrating. So in the end, I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going not screw it. I'm just going to let this be. And I'm just going to say, forget it. And so I just ended up putting tape all over the front of this, which you can see in the video. And then ultimately, I did the acrylic pouring portion, and I did a little bit of with the blow dryer, and I think it ultimately came out great. I'm very pleased with this. The glitter, I think, adds quite a bit to this, and I think the flowers, originally I was not sure about them. I thought they were a little bit too much, but my mother really enjoyed them, so I think you can see that. Okay, ooh, I'm trying not to get the light in there because I don't want to burn anybody's eyeballs out, but yes, there are little, there are flowers all over this, and the glitter, I don't know if you can see the glitter. That's the thing, is like in these professional lights, glitter doesn't always come up the best. I know like Simply Nailogical uses her phone flash to get the glitter to really come up. I don't know. Can you see that at all? Let's see. Does that show? I don't know. I don't know if that's showing at all. But anyway, this is what the end result of this looks like. I'm so happy about this mirror. It's a little tacky feeling, not tacky looking. Well, maybe for some people. It's a little tacky feeling because I did use a Mod Podge as like a sealer, but I also used it for the flowers themselves and to add a little bit more glitter. I do feel like it is a little tacky, but I think that's also actually more the... Actually, where I put the Mod Podge, it's not as tacky, but on the sides where it's just paint, I think that's a little bit tacky. So, you know, just so you know, I know people say that like acrylic pour paint takes a very long time to dry. Like to be fully not tacky, it takes like weeks, people have said. So it is possible that that's just the case, that it's just, you know, tacky because the paint itself has not fully dried because, you know, you use all these different pouring mediums. This is my flood mixture that I made based on someone else's idea, but I've also used the golden acrylic pour medium. I don't dislike this. I mean, I feel like for the cost, flood is always going to be the easiest, and I think if you add water and, you know, do a top coat on it, I think it's fine. I don't know that I necessarily feel like, because I got the GAC 800 to go in part of my mixture. I don't know if you can see. This is Flood GAC 800 and then a topper or a sealer or whatever kind of built in. I haven't really run enough tests against each other to know whether or not I think ultimately this versus Flood by itself versus even just with water are the best. I think all of them have their pros and cons. I like this method. I think it's, I don't want to say fun because that sounds weird, but it is like not fun to make. Like I like pouring ingredients together and it kind of feels like potion-y, which is definitely up my alley. But I would say like as things go, I'd have to do like a math breakdown. I'm sure buying like one item, which is just the pouring gloss and then just adding water, is probably more cost effective in the long run. But like the thing is, and the thing that's always going to be the case is like, this is never going to last as long as this, or when you buy like the Floetrol Flood, which you can get like a gallon for $22, and then this is 16 ounces for $28. So yeah, you probably spend more in like the additives, but it lasts you longer in the long run. This does not, like, you know, this maybe has lasted me, I think 16 ounces probably lasted me a couple of projects. But when you're doing multiple projects, you know, week after week after week, it really becomes a situation where I feel like if you're doing a few projects, you know, something like the golden gloss medium is great. But if you're doing, you know, multiple projects and you need a lot of pouring medium, I feel like something like this isn't going to be that helpful, because if 16 ounces is already $28 and, you know, you're not sure if you want to spend more to get a bigger size, and that gets into $50, $60, which makes it very expensive. And I know there's like people who make their own pouring mediums out of like PVA glue. I've done it with water. I've liked the results that I've done with just plain water. I mean, I add water to all of my mixes. I actually have a bunch of these water bottles, which are not actually water bottle water. I have painstakingly taking the time to boil a bunch of water, and this is this called, when you boil the water and you boil out all the particulates or whatever. I would argue, for me personally, I mean, I still have over half a bottle of this, so I don't know. I do feel like I like this better. There's nothing wrong. I mean, the golden pouring medium gloss, it's great. It's fine. It does the job. It's nice for it to be all in one and the low crazing. One of the things I will say is, like, I am no expert. I am just purely basing this on my own experiences and my own creative endeavors, is that I personally am not noticing the difference as someone who's mostly just doing this for me and who's going to do this to sell like art prints eventually. And if I'm going to make like jewelry and things like that, that's going to be probably encased in resin anyway. So you're not really going to notice the, you know, particulars of this. But anyway, that was a whole tangent about this. So I'm going to go now. I have missed doing videos like this, I have to say, except for the sweating part, so that's unfortunate. But anyway, if you enjoy this video, please feel free to like this video, comment down below, tell me what you're going to be making for Mother's Day, if you're making anything, what you have planned for Mother's Day, if you even like Mother's Day. Not everyone has a good relationship with their mother, and you know what? That is okay. My mother will adopt you. So yeah, until next time, stay devilish, and see you next Tuesday. Wah!